Hello there. Today's guest is another swimmer who's decided to move into a different sport since Rio, with 8 Paralympic swimming medals to her name in a career stretching all the way back to Athens 2004. She is now a paratriathlete. It's Claire Cashmore. Hi Claire, so I've just detailed your Paralympic medal tally, your impressive tally over the years in the Paralympics. So you're in a good position to sort of tell us how you've seen the Paralympics change between Athens in 2004 and Rio in 2016.
Yeah, I'm definitely a bit of a veteran when you go back to 2004. Like half people, I raced in swimming wouldn't even have been alive in 2004. But no, it's hugely moved on, and the progress is amazing. But I definitely think London was the big game changer. Since London, just the way people's perceptions have changed towards people with a disability, and we're no longer seen as, disabled people getting involved in sport. Isn't that fantastic? It's actually like elite athletes that just happen to have a disability. And the amount of people that after the Superhuman campaign, they were like, oh, I want to be a superhuman. And, they'd be fully able-bodied. And that is what we want. We want people to just aspire to be like Paralympians. And the coverage that Channel 4 did was absolutely brilliant. I think just actually having a few more household names and getting people's interest is what you need to carry on the momentum and keep people, going through the 4-year cycle. And that's maybe where we need to step it up a little bit more. We need to see more within the 4 years. Paralympics, yes, is the pinnacle, but there's so many competitions between then and, every 4 years. So yeah, hopefully that will keep continuing to improve.
We're here to talk about triathlon, but just on your swimming, was there one particular moment that stands out for you, one particular race or one particular medal that was the highlight for you?
Oh gosh, that's a really hard question. One of my favourite memories was actually winning my first gold medal, World Championship medal in Rio in Brazil. But it was an outdoor event, and unfortunately we had a thunderstorm. So all the medal ceremonies were cancelled, and it was myself and Kate Gray, and we'd got the gold and the silver, and it was the first time I was going to be able to sing the national anthem myself, and it got cancelled, and I was like, oh my gosh. But the way British Swimming organised little medal ceremonies to hand them out to us was pretty special in itself. So yeah, that's definitely one of my key standout moments.
So to bring it forward to Rio and after Rio, what was it that made you move away from swimming, and how did the move to Paratri come about?
So Rio, obviously I did fairly well. Like I came back with a gold and a silver, which I was pretty happy with. And I decided I wanted to take a little bit of time out. And in that time, I got told that my funding was going to be cut, which was quite a hard pill to swallow. And I just felt a little bit disengaged with everything, and I kind of lost a lot of my identity. I was, to be honest, pretty broken. Like I didn't really know where I was going or what I was doing. I'd been doing this since, like we say, 2004 and beyond that. So since I was quite a young girl, and kind of swimming was mainly the thing I knew. So I was like, right, I'm going to take a bit of time out and kind of reassess what I want. And triathlon had always been on my radar, and obviously Rio was the first time that it appeared in the Paralympic Games. It was its debut. So I was like, do I want to do it? Do I not? And so I really took quite a bit of time to think about that, because I didn't want to just change it to another sport just because I couldn't think of anything else to do. I didn't want it to be that. I want it to be because I really wanted to do it. So that those few months between Rio and changing over to triathlon were key in just a bit of personal development and finding out a little bit about myself, and then making that switch over. And honestly, it's been the best switch ever. I absolutely love it. It's just the freedom you get, and just the variety is incredible. And to be honest, I look back now and I'm like, gosh, I don't know how I swam 9-10 times a week following a black line. Because now I find like swimming 4 to 5 times a week quite hard. But no, it's just how you change, isn't it? And I've grown so much as a person and learned so much about myself within these last few years, which has been incredible.
And I guess it's actually 3 new disciplines, isn't it? Really, because the open water swimming is so different, I imagine, to the pool swimming.
Yeah, I'm pretty scary. I'm not going to lie, I get quite petrified. I'm like, what is underneath me? Like in a pool, you're in that safe environment, whereas in open water, you're like, well, there's fish, there's sharks, there's crocodiles. Like, we were swimming in Florida, and I was like, oh my gosh, an alligator could literally come and eat me. And all these thoughts go through my mind, and I'm like, Claire, calm down, as I'm like plowing through the water. But no, it technically, it's very different as well. And I was a breaststroke swimmer, so breaststroke to freestyle is completely different, and swimming in wetsuits, and just not having those tumble turns, which are definitely my strength because my legs. So yeah, and then obviously it's actually kind of four sports, because you've got the transitions, so you've got the flying mounts and dismounts that you've got to learn. So it's definitely throwing me into the deep end when I started, and then a few months later decided I was going to race.
You gave yourself a baptism of fire. You didn't go into something sort of straightforward. And obviously we can see, I know you were born without your left forearm. How does that affect things like the cycling, I guess, would be the most obvious one to ask you about? Yeah,
definitely. Because I'd cycled since I was a kid, but when I say cycled, I literally used a mountain bike, and I think I just leant down on the bars really bad for my back, my posture. So moving over to triathlon, where you're using a road bike, which is super twitchy, was quite challenging, and I found like going down hills at crazy speeds, and then you're using one hand to do the brakes, and you're not really stopping. So there was so many times where, particularly if it was wet and slippy, that everybody would stop, and I would just fly by, and I'd be like, I can't stop. And I'd be like, come on. I'd be like skidding into like barriers and all sorts. My brakes are better now than they were then. But yeah, and it's also obviously the changing gears and just getting used to all of that, which was pretty scary to begin with. But cycling's definitely, I'd say, my favourite of the three now. Now I've gained that confidence, and had those few times of falling off, and all the interesting things that happen when you cycle.
And in this lockdown period, I suppose cycling, getting out and having a run, etc., they're the ones that you can get out and do most easily at the moment, I suppose.
Yeah, and do you know what? This is at the point where I feel so lucky that I'm in a sport where I can still do two elements of the sport. I think if I was a swimmer or high jumper, or a sport where you can't really do anything, it must be really, really tough. So yeah, I definitely am counting my blessings right now. And we do actually have a little bit of a paddling pool in the back garden, so been trying to use that as well to emulate swimming. I'm not sure it really is, but it's some sort of feeling the water, I'd say.
You've been performing at such a high standard in the various para-tri competitions around the world. You've got this great rivalry with Lauren Steadman, and we were all getting tremendously excited about looking ahead to the triathlon this year in Tokyo. So how did the year postponement go down with you?
Yeah, so we were actually meant to be in Thailand and Abu Dhabi. We were going to come back a few weeks ago, so that was pretty gutting. And all the competitions that we had planned were obviously, it was pretty disappointing. And obviously particularly Tokyo not going ahead. But at the same time, this is so much bigger than sport, and it was the only decision that could be made. And I'm really thankful that the IPC made that decision, because I think it's not fair. It's not fair on the athletes. It's not fair on all those people that are suffering from coronavirus right now. And I just think you don't want to go to the Paralympic Games and win a medal because the rest of your rivals haven't been able to train or haven't had access to facilities or anything like that. It would just be such an unequal playing field, and winning a gold medal like that isn't winning a gold medal. So 100% the right decision. And I think for me also is, like I've just mentioned, I've not been in the sport that long, so it buys me an extra year essentially, and that is no bad thing. I think back in January, I was telling somebody the other day that I said to my coach, I was like, if only I just had like that little bit more time. Like, I just don't feel like I'm quite ready. And then obviously this happened, and I was like, oh my gosh, why do I say things like that? But no, it's more time for me to kind of perfect the skills. And like we say, it's three new sports. So any time I've got it is really key for me.
And aside from the sport and training and things, what are you like in lockdown? Are you keeping yourself do you get easily bored? Are there things that you are doing to keep yourself occupied away from all the sports side of things?
Yeah, I'm definitely the worst person for chilling out. My coach is constantly like, Claire, you know, just today maybe just sit down and watch a bit of TV and relax. I'm like, well, so I've got some DIY plan. I'm going to paint the door. I'm going to do some gardening. I'm going to train. She's like, just chill. But no, I definitely have starting to learn how to relax a little bit more and switch off. But no, it's definitely been a lot of gardening, painting doors, and just doing bits around the house that have needed to be done, and the usual cleaning, which is really exciting, and a lot of eating. I feel like this is just an excuse to eat lots of food, which is not good. But at least I'm training to make up for it.
And you've got a long time until the big one next year.
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely taking the pressure off a bit, which is nice.
Well, listen, thanks for making the time to speak to me, and everybody's obviously looking forward to getting back to normal, and we look forward to seeing you back in action.
Yes, thank you, and stay safe.
Thanks, Claire. You too.
Thank you. Bye.